Hi everyone, in this lecture we will solve few interesting questions and you can expect this kind of questions getting asked in IRDAI grade A 2024 examination, right? So the question is, Pawan's age 8 years ago is equal to the sum of the present ages of his son and his daughter. 5 years hence, the ratio between his daughter's age and his son's age will be 7:6 respectively, right? Pawan's wife is 7 years elder than him and her present age is twice the present age of his son. What is his daughter's present age? So we have to find. Okay, we will try to bring few sessions for logical reasoning also. So there are basically 4 persons in this question. There is Pawan, right? Then if you read further, we see that there is son of Pawan. Then we find that there is daughter of Pawan. And if you read further, you find that we also have to deal with the age of Pawan's wife, right? So Pawan's wife. If you read the last line of the question, it says that her present age is thrice the present age of his son. Basically, who has been used, for whom her has been used here. This is for Pawan's wife. Pawan's wife is 7 years old elder than him and her present age is thrice the present age of his son. So if we assume that the present age of Pawan's son is A years, we are assuming that the present age of Pawan's son is A, then we can say that the present age of Pawan's wife is 3A years. Why? Because her present age is thrice the present age of his son. If you read this part of the question, Pawan's wife is 7 years elder than him. So we know that the age of Pawan's wife is 3A and Pawan's wife is 7 years elder than him. What does it mean? It means that we can say that Pawan's present age is 3A minus 7. See, we are trying to write the present ages of Pawan and Pawan's wife, Pawan's son and his daughter, right? Hi Vivek, you can expect easy or moderate level questions in IRDAI, quant and logical reasoning sections. Now, we have not been able to find the age of daughter in A. So, if you read this line, Pawan's age 8 years ago is equal to the sum of the present ages of his son and his daughter. See, we have written the present age of Pawan and his son and his wife, but we know that Pawan's age 8 years ago. So 8 years ago, what will be the Pawan's age? 8 years ago, Pawan's age will be 3A minus 7 minus 8. So basically, Pawan's age will be 3A minus 15. This will be the age of Pawan 8 years ago. And we know that 3A minus 15 is the present age, is the sum of present age of son and daughter. If you read this line. So basically 3A minus 15, 3A minus 15, that is the Pawan's age 8 years ago, is equal to the sum of present ages of his son and his daughter. We know the present age of his son is A, but we don't know about the daughter's age. So okay, we can directly write daughter's age. So can we find the age of his daughter in the form of A? Yeah, we can find. See, we are using the first line to write this equation, right? So basically 3A minus 15 minus A is going to be equal to the Pawan's daughter's age, right? So basically his daughter's age is equal to 2A minus 15. 2A minus 15. We have used the first line to write this equation, and 3a minus 15 is the age of Pawan 8 years ago. Now if you read this further, read this line. 5 years hence, the ratio between his daughter's age and his son's age will be 7:6. 5 years hence. So basically, we are talking about 5 years later. So what will be the age of? So what will be the age of 5 years later? What will be the age of Pawan's son 5 years later? This will be basically a plus 5. And what will be the age of Pawan's daughter 5 years hence, means 5 years later? The age of his daughter will be equal to, see, what is his daughter's present age? His daughter's present age is 2a minus 15. 2a minus 15. So basically 5 years later, his daughter's age will be 2a minus 15 plus 5. So what is 2a minus 15 plus 5? 2a minus 15 plus 5 is 2a minus 10. 2a minus 10. Now we need to use this line, right? We know that 5 years hence, the ratio between his daughter's age and his son's age will be 7:6 respectively. So can we write an equation? What the equation will be? The equation will be 2a minus 10 divided by a plus 5, that is equal to 7/6. Why we are able to write this equation? Why we are able to write 2a minus 10 divided by a plus 5 equal to 7/6? Because we are using this line, 5 years hence the ratio between his daughter's age and his son's age will be 7:6. This is the age of his daughter 5 years hence, 2a minus 10. This is the age of his son 5 years later. So divided by a plus 5. So we will have to cross multiply. So 6 into 2a minus 10 equal to 7 into a plus 5. So basically 12a minus 60, that is equal to 7a plus 35. So basically we can write 12a minus 7a, 12a minus 7a equal to 35 plus 60. So basically 5a equal to 95. If you solve further, you will write a equal to 95 by 5. So basically the value of a will be equal to 19. So we can say that the value of a is equal to 19. Okay, but don't, whenever you get the value of a, don't try to choose the options in rush. Read the question again, read the last part of the question again, that what do we have to find? So basically we have to find what is his daughter's present age. We have been asked to find what is his daughter's present age. So what is his daughter's present age? His daughter's present age is 2a minus 15. His daughter's present age is 2a minus 15. So basically we have to find 2a minus 15. Okay, do we know the value of a? Yeah, we know that the value of a is 19. So we can write 2 into 19 minus 15. So 2 into 19 is equal to what? 2 into 19 is equal to 38. So 38 minus 15, and that is equal to 23. That is equal to 23. So 23 years is present in option C. So option C is the correct answer. Option C is the correct answer of this question. So you can expect one question from age chapter, right? And you will be given few lines, few statements. You will have to use all the statements to write these things in a neat way, and you will have to solve, and you will get easy level questions from a chapter in IRDAI prelims exam. So all of you will be able to solve that question. But yeah, you should try to solve that question correctly and quickly. Then only you will get time to solve other questions of quant and any other section. So the correct answer of this question is option C, that is 23 years. Now we will solve this question. See, you can get questions from quadratic equation chapter, and you can expect this kind of questions getting asked in IRDAI prelims exam, right? So basically we have to find the values of x and y, then we will be able to answer that which one of these options is correct. But wait, do we really need to find the values of x and y in each question? No, there are few tabs where you will not have to find the values of x and y. Okay, if you look at this question, can you tell me that what is the product of roots? Yeah, we can answer that product of roots is equal to c by a when the quadratic equation is of the form of ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. So if you look at this quadratic equation, the product of roots is minus 120 by 1. So if you look at this value, product of the roots is negative. When can be the product of the roots negative? This is only possible when one of the roots is positive, when one of the roots is positive and another root is negative. You will only get product of roots negative when one of the roots is positive and another root is negative. Okay, if you see this kind of situation in any quadratic equation, there are good chances that you will not have to solve those quadratic equations to answers quickly, right? Now if you look at the another quadratic equation, you can even observe in this quadratic equation that the product of the roots is minus 19 by 1. So basically product of the roots in this quadratic equation in y is negative. What does it mean? That one of the roots is positive and another root is negative and another root is negative. So basically you have been given two quadratic equations and both quadratic equations have one positive root and one negative root. So you should be able to think that this positive root will be obviously greater than this negative root, and this positive root will be obviously greater than this negative root, right? Positive values will always be greater than negative values. So basically you will be able to say that at least one of the roots of this quadratic equation is greater than this one of these roots, and one of the roots is definitely greater than the roots of this quadratic equation. So but you don't have to think these things about a lot. You should only remember one thing, that if you get two quadratic equation and if you find that product of the roots is negative in both cases, you can immediately mark no relation can be established between x and y. Remember one thing, that if you see that product of the roots is negative in both quadratic equations, it means you can't establish the relationship between x and y. So what will be the correct answer? The correct answer will be option E. So if you get this kind of questions, you should be happy that we didn't have to find the proper values of x and y. So the correct answer is no relation can be established between x and y. Now let us solve this question. The question says a sum of money under CI compounded annually becomes 1260 at the end of the second year and rupees 1512 at the end of the third year at the same rate of interest on the same sum of money. What would be the difference between the simple interest earned at the end of 5 years and the simple interest earned at the end of 9 years? So you can expect one or two questions from SI and CI getting asked in IRDAI prelims, right? So how we will solve this question? Okay, let us read the first part of the question. A sum of money under compound interest compounded annually, okay, we will not have to think a lot, compounded annually becomes rupees 1260 at the end of the second year and rupees 1512 at the end of the third year. So if we assume that this sum of money is P, if we are assuming that the amount is P and we are assuming that the rate of interest is R, we can write few equations. We can write P into 1 plus R divided by 2 to the power 2 is equal to 1260, right? Sum of money in under CI compounded annually becomes 1260 at the end of second year. So we can write this equation, and at the end of third year it becomes P into 1 plus R by 100, R by 100 to the power 3, that is equal to 1512. So basically we have two equations in P and R. Are you able to notice one thing, that we can divide these two equations, and if we divide these two equations we can eliminate P and we will be able to find the value of R hopefully. So let us divide this equation by this equation. If you divide these equations, so p into 1 plus r divided by 100 to the power 3 divided by p into r plus 100 to the power 2, that is equal to 1512 by 1260. So p and p will cancel each other. P and p will cancel each other. Okay, we know that these values will also cancel each other, right? If you are good at calculation, you will be able to simplify these values quickly. But even if you are not good at calculation, you can do this thing. 2 into 630. 2 into 6 is 12, then 36, so 60. Then you can write 2 into 7 is 14, then 1 1, so 2 into 5, then 1 6. Again, these numbers are divisible by 2, so you can write 2 into 3 and 2 into 15 is 30, 2 into 3 is 6, and you can write 2 into 3 7 8. So if you can observe, 3 plus 1 plus 5 is 9 and 3 plus 7 10 plus 8 is 18. So basically both of these numbers are divisible by 3. So if you divide these numbers by 3, you can write 105 and you can write 126. Again, you can observe, see, if you are good at calculation, you will be able to observe that these numbers are divisible by 21. So you will be able to divide 21 into 5 and 21 into 6. But even if you are not good at that thing, you should observe that 1 plus 5 is 6 and 1 plus 2 plus 6 is 9. So basically, sum of the digits of these two numbers is divisible by 3. What does it mean? It means that both of the numbers are divisible by 3. If both of the numbers are divisible by 3, so can we write 3 into 3 and 3 into 5 and 3 into 4 and 3 into 2. Again, you can observe 7 into 5 and 7 into 6. So obviously this value is equal to 6 by 5. This value is equal to what? This value is equal to 6 by 5. Now if you solve further, you can write 1 plus r by 100. See, this is the power of 3, this is the power of 2. So if you divide these two equations, you will get 1 plus r divided by 100. So okay, 1 plus r divided by 100, that is equal to 6 by 5. If you solve it further, you will find r by 100 is equal to 6 by 5 minus 1. So basically 6 minus 5, that is equal to 1 by 5. So what is the value of r? That is equal to 100 by 5. So 5 into 20, so r equal to 20. So the rate of interest is 20. Now we have got one thing. We have found one thing, that the rate of interest is 20. Okay, we have found the rate of interest, that is 20%. But we have not found the value of p yet. So we will have to find the value of p. Okay, how can we find the value of p? We can find the value of p using any one of these two equations. We can find the value of p by using any one of these two equations. So what does it mean? That if you put the value of r, in this equation, you can write p into 1 plus 20 by 100, that is, and to the power 2 is equal to 1260. 20 into 1, 20 into 5. So basically this is equal to p into 1 plus 1 by 5. If you solve it further, p into 6 by 5 to the power 2 is equal to 1260. So basically this is equal to p into 36 by 25 equal to 1260. If you are good at calculation, you will find that 36 into 1, okay, you can't do that thing. So you can write p equal to 1260 into 25 by 36. So obviously 4 into 9 and 4 into 315. So basically you can again write 9 into 2, 9 into 3 is 2745. So obviously the value of p equal to 35 into 25. 35 into 25 is what? 25 into 25 is 625 and 25 into 10 is 250. So if you solve it correctly, this value will be equal to 625 plus 250. So this is basically equal to 875, or you can think 35 into 20 is 700 and 35 into 5 is 175. So 875. So what is the value of P? The value of P is 875, and we know about the rate of interest, that is 20%. So let us look at the question. What would be the difference between the simple interest earned at the end of 5 years and earned at the end of 9 years? So what will be the simple interest at the end of 5 years? You can do one thing, you can find the simple interest at the end of 5 years, and you can find the simple interest and then at the end of 9 years, and then you will find the difference. But one quick way is to one quick way that you can write that, see, for 1 year rate of interest is 20%. So for 5 years, what will be the net simple interest rate? Net simple interest will be 20 into 5, that is equal to 100%, right? And after 9 years, what will be the simple interest rate? 20 into 9, that is equal to 180%. So what will be the difference? 180 and 180 minus 100. See, at the end of 5 years, net simple interest will be 20 into 5, that is 100%. At the end of 9 years, 20 into 9, that is equal to 180%. 180%. Right? So basically, what is the difference? The difference is of 80%. The difference is of 80%. So you can directly find 80% of 875. So basically 80% is equal to 4 by 5. You can do that thing, or you can even solve in this way: 20 into 4 and 20 into 5. Then obviously 5 into 1, 7, then 5. So 175 into 4, 175 into 4 is 100 into 4 is 400, and 75 into 4 is 300. So 700 rupees. So 700 rupees is present in option E. So option E is the correct answer, right? So obviously you will do simplification in your own way, right? Everyone simplifies things in his own way that he has learned over the years, right? So 700 is the correct answer, but I will suggest you that don't find the simple interest earned at the end of 5 years, then don't again find simple interest at the end of 9 years. That process is going to be a lengthy process. You should learn one thing, that if the rate of interest is 20%, so at the end of 5 years, net simple interest will be 20 into 5, that is 100%, and at the end of 9 years, net simple interest will be 20 into 9, that is 180%. So 180 minus 100, that is 80%. So you can directly find 80% of the sum of money, that is 875. So 700 rupees is the correct answer of this question. Now let us again solve a question related to quadratic equation, right? You can expect few questions of quadratic equation in the examination. Maybe you will get this kind of question. So basically you have been given two quadratic equations in x and y, right? So if you look at these two quadratic equations, if you look at the first quadratic equation, you will find that sum is positive. Sum is minus of minus 7 by 12, but I will suggest you that don't think sum in that way. You should only think that sum is positive. Sum is 7 by 12, and product is also positive, and product is also positive, right? When is this possible? It is only possible when both roots are positive. It is only possible when both roots are positive. Means if you see that the sum of the roots is positive, if you find that sum of the roots is positive, and if you find that product of the roots, see, if you look at the product of the roots, that is 1 by 12. So product of the roots are positive. So basically both roots are positive. Both roots of this quadratic equation are positive. If you look at the quadratic equation in y, you will find that sum is negative. Sum is minus 23 by 1. So sum is negative. But if you look at the product is 132. So product is positive. Product is positive. When this case happens, when you see that sum of the roots is negative, but the product of the roots is positive, what does it say you about the roots? What does it say about you, the nature of the roots of the quadratic equation? It means that both roots are negative. you should remember, when the sum of the roots is negative and the product of the roots is positive, it means that both roots are negative. So basically both values of y are negative. If both roots of this quadratic equation in y are negative, means both values of y are negative. And if the roots of the quadratic equation in x is positive, means both values of x are positive. So obviously both values of x will be always greater than both values of y in this case. So you can easily answer option A. So option A is the correct answer of this question, right? So you should remember this thing. Whenever you get this kind of questions, you can look at the sum and product of the roots. Maybe if you get this kind of questions, you can answer the questions quickly within 10-15 seconds. You can also expect one question from time and work chapter, right? So the question says A and B can complete the work in 24 days and 16 days respectively. They started the work together, and after 6 days B left the work. In how many days A alone can complete the remaining work? You have to be careful. You only have to answer in how many days A alone can complete the remaining work. Okay, so you can write A can complete the work in 24 days, B can complete the work in 16 days. So we have got two values in days. So try to find the LCM of 24 and 16. If you try to find the LCM of 24 and 16, you will find that this is 48. You will find that this is 48. So we can say that, so we are assuming that the total work is of 48 units. We are assuming that total work is of 48 units. So if A can complete the work in 24 days and we are saying that total work is 48 units, what does it mean? It means that A does 2 units work per day. Why? So we are assuming that total work is 48 units and A is taking 24 days. So basically A will work 2 units per day. Now if you look at B takes 16 days and we have assumed that the total work is of 48 units. We have taken the LCM of 24 and 16. So we can say that B does 3 units work per day. Okay, now we know about the work done by A and B in one day. A does 2 units work per day, B does 3 units work per day. Now if you read the question further, they started the work together and after 6 days B left the work. What does it mean? It means that A and B has worked together for 6 days, then B left the work. So you can write simply that A plus B means A and B has worked together for 6 days. And we know that A does 2 units work per day. A does 2 units work per day and B does 3 units work per day. So in one day, if they work together, they will do 2 plus 3 units work. Means in one day, they will do 5 units work. So in 6 days, they will do 30 units work. So in these 6 days, A and B will do 30 units work. But we have assumed that the total work is of 48 units. We have assumed that total work is of 48 units, and now we know that A and B has done 30 units work, right? So what is the remaining work? You should be able to find out that remaining work is of 48 minus 30. 48 minus 30 units, right? So basically 18 units. So the remaining work is of 18 units. Now read the last part of the question again. We have to answer in how many days A can alone complete the remaining work. Okay, the remaining work is of 18 units and A does 2 units work per day, right? So basically to do this 18 units of work, A will have to work for 9 days, right? Simple. The total work is of 18 units and A can do 2 units work per day. So basically A will take 9 days. A will take 9 days to complete the remaining work. So you can expect questions from time and work, and you can expect this kind of questions in exam, right? So hopefully all of you learned something new in today's lecture. See you in next lecture.